Wow, wow, wow. What a game. Manchester United 3, Fulham 2. Guys, this was such an odd and interesting match because, kind of from the first kick, you never really felt like any team was gaining sustainable momentum. And what I mean by that was it just felt like the first half was a revolving pattern of both teams would almost get themselves into attacking areas and then just the pass before the pass would fall apart. Um, I think, honestly, within the first 15, 20 minutes, Fulham probably played the slightly better um, better game. I remember there were about two instances within the first 12 minutes where United were trying to go a little man to man pressing, and Fulham would just break it down and move back to front so easily. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this might just be one of those games. And I don't know. So many people were saying heading into this match that this was the most important match of Carrick's reign. You beat Man City and Arsenal, but that's okay because you're the underdog. This is the match you're supposed to win. And I just sometimes narratives like that in the sport they can just get a little bit tiring because if United had lost or tied or won this match or whatever it was, it's not going to take away from the previous two matches. Um, yes, I know we're supposed to be on the front foot and we're supposed to be at home, but I don't know. I just felt like hanging that over his head as something that he had to win this match to prove he was a good enough manager. It just wasn't true because I've seen over the past 180 minutes that he is, a decent enough manager. So I do kind of feel like there was this unnecessary weight on Carrick today, and for the first 15, 20 minutes, I'm thinking to myself, all right, really, what am I trying to see? Are we trying to play on the counter? Are we trying to play with possession? It was kind of weird because not only was I not seeing that from United, where I was wondering what do they really want. I was looking at Fulham, and I'm not thinking to myself, they're dominating the match. It was really weird. And of course, the penalty incident in about the 19th minute, he cuts inside over on the right side of the box. Originally given a penalty, then after further review was called a free kick. Beautiful delivery from Bruno Fernandes, guys. I mean, I promise you, we're not appreciating the consistency and the ability of that man enough. I mean, that is a tight angle to put in the free kick, and he did it perfectly. He did it perfectly to the head of Casemiro. I mean, what a way to mark, the final few games of his United career, because after such a 50-50 first 15 minutes or so, to get that goal, to give United a lead, a not necessarily deserved lead, it makes it even that much more valuable. And immediately after, I wrote down in my notes, I don't see United keeping a clean sheet here. Because we're not really getting a real foot on the ball. We're not pinning Fulham back. Both teams are just kind of waiting to lose it. No one's really trying to win. I actually think in the first half, I want to make this a genuine point. Diogo Dallo probably played some of the best football I've ever seen him play in a United jersey. He did really throughout the whole entire game, but especially in the first half, a little bit in the second half. I mean, Fulham, I saw a stat was bringing up, was it 50% of their attacks down his flank? And I think Chukwueze is a very, very progressive winger. Typically, guys like that will have a day against United. Historically, just in these past couple of seasons, these wingers, which you've heard of and they have talent, but what really can they do? They typically show out against United. I think today Dallo did an excellent job of marking Chukwueze down. I also think twice in the first half he was put in really odd positions with the ball at his feet, and he just maneuvered it perfectly. And I've been seeing earlier reports earlier this week that apparently Real Madrid won Dallo. I don't know if that's in any way true. I saw it and I almost started laughing because you just don't think. I don't think he's a bad player, but not quite sure he's the Real Madrid level. I mean, I don't know, but today he took a bit of a rise in his stock. United probably added an extra 5 million to his transfer value today just because of that match. He did a fantastic job. So going into the half, We're up 1-0. I don't think either team really deserves it. Maybe Fulham is a little bit unlucky to be down 1-0. But in the second half, I'm thinking to myself, okay, we're probably going to concede. But if we can just, kind of grind out a 1-0 clean sheet, I'd be the happiest man in the world. Sure enough, the second half starts. Dallo makes a great run into the midfield. He finds Mbumo. Was that 2 or 3 minutes in? And Mbumo just misses it. And I'm thinking to myself, oh gosh, there's that early second half chance. Fulham can work themselves into this match. And they start to just like that. You start kind of putting on waves of like almost pressure. They're almost getting that cross into the box, but the ball's coming right back out to them when United try to clear it. They're almost finding that final pass, but when United clear it, it's going right back out to Fulham. And I'm thinking to myself, just these consistent kind of 2, 3, 4 out of 10 chances are going to build into one really good one. But the biggest thing one of the biggest things I've really harped about with Manchester United under Ruben Amorim was our lack to recognize the tempo of the game. And I think through the first 3 matches of Carrick's regime, they've done a brilliant job of knowing this is when we should pick it up, this is when we should slow it down, this is when we can get on the counter. Just that little kind of thing. And I think Fulham kind of have their chance. United get the ball, and there's a chance to break. I think Ahmad's running down the right flank. But instead, we just keep it. We just maintain possession. Not even for like 3 or 4 minutes. This is about 5 minutes into the second half. So it's not even Fulham are dominating for majority of the first 5-10 minutes of that second half. So when we get on the ball, it's just about keeping it for 45 seconds, keeping it for just that minute. You don't have to match Fulham for everything they've been doing with 5 minutes of unwavering pressure, but just hold on it. And we do, and we work the ball around the left side a little bit, we move it over towards the right side. I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's a chance here. All of a sudden, Casemiro pops up. A no-look threaded pass into Cunha, and we go up 2-0. And that's just the individual quality right there. The biggest thing I will give Michael Carrick so much credit for is maximizing the players. Casemiro on the ball outside the box is a fantastic player. I mean, he scored his goal with a header today, but just outside the box, being able to diagnose that run from Cunha, a great run from Cunha. Platforming his players and maintaining the momentum of the match to A-plus things that Carrick has done so far. And, we go up 2-0, and I'm starting to think to myself, okay, I know it's not Ruben Amorim on the touchline. I know we're really not in real danger of throwing this away. And then the half just kind of lulls. United don't really put any pressure on. Fulham are almost knocking at the door, but coming up just short. And then all of a sudden, around the 80th minute or something like that, they get that penalty. It's one of the weirdest things because I'm looking at that Manchester United back line, and I'm thinking to myself, Laman's had to make a couple really just, not necessarily great saves, but smart saves today. He had that reactionary save in the first half. Just a couple more kind of peppered throughout the match where I'm thinking to myself, this is maybe Andre Onana or Altay Bayandi, or I'm not sure what's happening here. But with Lamans, you have just that continued sense of calm. He's making good saves. But Fulham get threaded in. I think it's Sonderberg on a counterattack finds what's his name? Raul Jimenez attacking from the left flank. Jimenez goes on 1-1 against Lamans, and I'm like, all right, Jimenez is a good enough striker. He's good enough to probably beat Lamans, but Lamans gets wide and he stands tall and he hits the floor and he makes a great save. And then all of a sudden, I'm seeing the referee point to the spot. And I'm looking at Raul Jimenez. I mean, the guy looked like he just got freaking torn down, and he did. Like, what? Harry Maguire, for as great as he's been over these past couple of years, makes such a boneheaded decision. It was almost at that point, because the foul didn't occur prior to him taking the shot. No, it occurred after the ball was already out of his feet. And Maguire then just makes that contact on him. And I'm thinking to myself, come on, guys. As long as we just don't gift this game away, Fulham aren't dangerous enough to create many chances of their own. Sure enough, we gift them a goal. Jimenez converts the penalty, and then just not fooling around Old Trafford. Please don't let this slip. Please don't let this slip. And at what 5 minutes later, Kevin, Brazilian winger, I mean, a guy just gets in on his strong right foot, cuts inside the box, whips at top ends. Thinking to myself, like, I'm not even mad because neither in that first half or the second half did United deserve to win. Like, let's call the game what it was. United didn't deserve to win. Fulham didn't deserve to win. So you probably would point to a draw. I know on a day the individual quality of United was just that bit better, but it just, I don't know. It would have sat a little bit off with me to come on here and tell you all that we deserve to win. So while I'm disappointed, obviously, at United, or I'm sorry, at Fulham getting that equalizer, it's kind of fair. It's probably deserved. And then Benjamin Sesko. Oh my gosh. Once again, guys, we are continuing to underestimate the ability of Bruno Fernandes for that goal. I mean, just to keep the calm, I think he nutmegs a defender or something. Just opens up the space, opens up the lane for Sesko to run inside, gets the ball into him. Absolutely brilliant take. I mean, Benjamin Sesko, you want to talk about a striker just flying with confidence. It all started in that 2-2 draw with Burnley where Sesko looked like a man on fire. And since then, anytime he's gotten on the ball, there's just that extra bit of zip on the way he moves. And today, guys, I mean, a striker out of form, out of confidence, they're not taking that chance. But he just keeps it so coolly because he gets the ball into the box, he traps it down. He has two guys behind him that he could lay it off to, a Mainu, and I'm blanking on who else was there. He has a safe option, or he takes the risk. He takes the shot that he's practiced 1,000 times, and he just did it with just an excellent quality. I mean, it will go down as one of the best United goals of the season, not just because of the goal itself, but just what it means, because it just continues the tempo and it continues just the good feeling. Overall, guys, I don't think it was a great game from United. I think it's one of those matches where you just kind of throw it away, and we got Tottenham next week, and so I wouldn't have been too upset at a draw, but in these types of games, when you don't play your best, and United weren't playing their best, as I mentioned, we weren't really dominating the midfield. I don't think Kobbie Mainoo had his best game. I know Casemiro did well offensively, but it was bland from both sides. So in these games where you don't play your best, but you find a way to capitalize, it's a real marker. And so now United, I don't know where we're at in the table. Fourth, obviously, I'm pretty sure. A couple big games ahead. Spurs and then West Ham, I think. Spurs is at home. You just have to keep this stuff going. This has been probably the worst performance under Carrick, even including his interim stint 4 years ago, or 5 years ago, however many seasons ago it was. But even in that, you found a way to win. And that's almost even more impressive than the wins against Arsenal and Man City. Because while those wins were great, they were playing to your style. Now in a game where you're supposed to be on the attacking and you're supposed to be constantly going at the opposing defense, and you just fall off, but you find that late goal. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it was a really great win today, guys. And just, I don't know. I'm in a good mood now. Honestly, I was watching that game and I was kind of but now that I'm sitting here in front of you all and I'm able just to think back on it and think about what it means, my mood's getting a lot better. So have a great weekend. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you all soon. God bless.